Welcome to a spectacular day for college football here in Bloomington and a road test for one of the surprise teams this year. It's number 10 Penn State taking on the Hoosiers here at Memorial Stadium. Again, everyone, Bob Wischusen here with Brock Ewart. Allison Williams will join us in just a moment. Going back to the start of the season, we were there for one of Penn State's 2 losses at Heinz Field to Pitt. They started off the year 2-2. Now they're 7-2. Could they be 10-2 when year's end comes?
Yeah, absolutely. They got to get this one, and they got to play a little bit better on the road. But you watch them mature, you watch them grow up, as James Franklin has said, and you watch them form an identity. And when you do 2 things in football well, typically you win a lot of games. Play sound defense, which they're doing, and then you control the game with your running game. And they've got one of the most dynamic players in all of college football. He's the most dynamic running back in this conference. He's really put this team on his back, complemented and married very well with their defense. But Saquon's a joy to watch, and he's been a big reason why they're on this run.
Although you talk about Saquon Barkley obviously having a major impact on Penn State's success, but they have, with their defense as well, playing at a different level, married both sides of the football to become a team that right now is as hot as any.
And it's got to be fun for the folks in Happy Valley. They've been waiting, and it turned with the Ohio State game. There's no doubt about it. That was the marquee win, but play good fundamental defense. Play 10 guys on the D-line, and you're going to see them howling and barking. Tremendous energy there. And then a quarterback in a run game that knows what they can do, also knows what they can't do, and they know it very well.
Hoosiers trying to pull off the upset. Allison Williams, maybe with a recipe as to how they can do it.
Yeah, Bob, keep in mind, Indiana has a chance to do some things that haven't been done in quite some time. Remember, all time against Penn State, just 1-18, their only win coming back in 2013. And they have a chance to accomplish some things that haven't been done in the last 2 decades. This Nittany Lions team's 10th ranked in the country. Indiana hasn't beat a top 10 team since 1987. But the Hoosiers have won their last 2, looking to make it 3 straight in the conference for the first time since 1994. And it would give them their always important 6th win of the season, making them bowl eligible in back-to-back years for the first time since, well, before these players were even born. So plenty to play for this Indiana team, and really a chance to make a big step as a program.
Well, Brock, talking to coaches in this league, to Allison's point, they realize that this Indiana team is very close to getting over the hump and getting some wins that will open eyes around college football.
They just got to do it. The team they're kicking to did a few weeks ago, and you could see the momentum with which they've carried that Ohio State win forward.
A short kick to the true freshman, Miles Sanders. He finds some room. And good field position to start for Penn State. And a young man that's not conceding the Heisman race to anyone yet.
He is really an exciting player to watch at any point, at any play.
Second best in the nation.
Barkley, 45, 40, Barkley, 30.
He can catch the ball, he can run the ball.
Barkley gets away. Touchdown, Penn State.
Saquon Barkley's last 4 games, 168.8 yards rushing and an 8.3 yards per carry average. He has been terrific. Although Trace McSorley starts in an empty backfield, and he'll run it himself. He's become a running threat as the season has gone on as well.
Well, you can utilize and leverage that running back right next to you. And what I love about Trace, and we all know Trace McSorley's grown up playing sports, he was the one that won. All right, he's not the biggest, he's not the strongest, but the guy has been a winner at every level.
First chance for Saquon Barkley. Stumbles and goes down, may have lost a half yard. So on this opening possession, an area where Penn State has struggled all year, in particular on 3rd down.
Yeah, 125th out of 128. That's not where you want to be. And their peers at the bottom of those 3rd down rankings are some of the worst in Power 5 conference. They've compensated with the explosive play. They got to find a way to move the sticks on the road. And doing so with a new right tackle as well. Brendan Mann, who has manned that position the last few weeks out, did not make the trip.
Indiana brings a blitz. McSorley looks to extend the play. Lobs one down the sideline. He's got Barkley. That's a first down and a big play on 3rd down for Penn State to the 25-yard line of IU.
And you just lose sight of Saquon, and this is the element he's bringing. He can pass protect. You see some pressure there. That's not an ideal matchup. That's a defensive end, and Patrick Doherty against one of the most explosive players in college football. Mismatch.
Play action. Godwin wide open over the middle. Inside the 10-yard line, it's 1st and goal for Penn State. That's a gain of 17 down to the 8-yard line.
And when you've got a weapon like Barkley, not only can you run a little QB draw to begin the game or QB power, you also have 8 men around the line of scrimmage and wide windows of opportunity in your passing game.
McSorley steps up in the pocket. He'll tuck it under and run. Dives for the goal line, and he's in for the touchdown. Trace McSorley does it himself. A 10-yard touchdown run. And Penn State has the early lead.
He's a gamer, he's a winner. He won 3 state titles, 55-5 in high school, and you could see the upfield rush there beating left tackle Palmer. But McSorley keeps his poise, keeps his eyes downfield. He's got a great block from his buddy Saeed Blacknall there in the slot. No doubt about the finish from Trace.
That is his 20th touchdown accounted for this season. 14 through the air, and now 6 on the ground. Tyler Davis tacks on the extra point. And a terrific opening drive. Penn State with a 7-0 lead. Devontae Williams will take a knee about 6 yards deep. They throw one out to Mitchell Page. And he's brought down after a gain of 1. So the wide receiver screen short-circuited, and it'll be 2nd down and 9.
I think tempo's a real key for Indiana today because that Penn State defensive line wants to flush 8, 9, 10 guys through. They want to control it with their tempo offensively.
Slant is on time, and that is good for a 1st down to Nick Westbrook. Gain of 11, but this is a Penn State defense that has improved, Brock, as the season has gone on.
Yeah, and the big guy in the middle makes a difference. Curtis Cothran, he's a difference maker. Garrett Sickles on that edge with 5 sacks as well. That front 4 setting the table for the rest of the guys defensively.
Devine Redding finds a cutback lane. He's into the secondary. And he's got a 1st down across the 50. Dragged down by Malik Golden, but not before he picked up 16.
How many times do we see proud running backs, quarterbacks on the other side, where the other guy gets so much attention and Saquon is so good? Redding's very capable himself.
Lego again looking for a shot. Just out of the reach again of Nick Westbrook, who was open and couldn't catch up to that pass.
Don't you love the mentality, though? You get into this area, and they're going to take their shots. You're playing to the strengths of your personnel. Just a little bit more air on that ball. Lego threw a gorgeous go route to Westbrook. A play that he nearly came down with. That time a post. There is no safety in the middle of the field. Every opportunity to go let your big man go get it. You throw it flat like that, your margin for error goes way down.
Redding for 2 yards. Evan Schwan made the stop, so now it will be 3rd down and 8.
And isn't this just a little bit emblematic as well? Like, Indiana is there. We watched them. We watched them go toe-to-toe with Ohio State. There are opportunities and plays to be had, but you got to finish.
They can't even wait for Penn State to get set. And Lego takes advantage, reaching back to make the catch. Camion Patrick, 3rd down conversion for Indiana to the Penn State 28-yard line, a gain of 17.
Yeah, and once again, you've got a pretty good feel in those 3rd downs, and you're going to get zone coverage. They do not allow the Nittany Lions to line up to run one of those defensive line stunts. There's no pressure. And that was a huge 3rd down conversion. Let's see if that gets the confidence of the signal caller going a little bit.
Redding trying to swing wide. Inside the 25, down to about the 24 for a gain of 3. Jason Kabinda made the tackle. Devine Redding and Jordan Howard last year both had 1,000-yard seasons. Now it's Lego with a pump fake. He's looking end zone again, and this one jump ball back of the end zone. And Amani Oruwariye had a chance at an interception. Now it will be 3rd down and 7.
And you love to take shots, and Richard Lego loves to show off that big arm, but watch the little bubble screen here. Watch the opportunity on 2nd and 8 to just look it off. Okay, go look it off and fire that ball out to the sidelines and put yourself into a 3rd and 2 or a one-on-one on the perimeter instead of a dead ball down the field.
Tunnel screen. Mitchell Page runs right into Jason Kabinda. May have lost the football. There's a pile up, and Penn State thinks they've recovered a fumble. And they have. Mitchell Page coughs it up. And once again, Indiana drives into Penn State territory and comes away empty.
Yeah, and I think it was Malik Golden in there making an excellent play. We'll see the play, the tunnel screen, as you called there, Bob, coming right at you, but Golden comes off the block. The ball is clearly out, and then look at the pursuit. You hear these defensive coordinators call it a camera club. Kabinda's right in the middle of it. Golden's right in the middle of it. Then watch a number of Nittany Lions come around that pile. 4, 5, 6 guys. Come and take away Kings, part of the priority for Brent Pry, the defensive coordinator, and Kevin Wilson trusts that guy implicitly as much as anybody.
Trace McSorley is in at quarterback to start the drive for Penn State, so good to see for the Nittany Lions. And a handoff to Andre Robinson. He dances for 3. Let's go to Allison.
Trace McSorley back on the field after getting a pretty heavy tape job on that left ankle. And guys, I'm just curious. I mean, we've seen how this Penn State offense really has taken off since he's been able to utilize his legs more and hurt defenses running the ball. Brock, with that kind of injury, how limited is he going to be?
Well, it will be an impact, and I think especially on those scramble plays where he's been so devastating in the passing game, how he scored earlier on that 3rd down. But you're also watching an Indiana D-line and linebackers right now that are handling this beat up front with a lot of moving pieces on that O-line.
Saquon Barkley helps pick up the blitz. Gesicki has it fought away from Jonathan Crawford. Crawford, good position on Gesicki underneath. Now it will be 3rd down and 7.
It's the one-on-one you wanted. Offensive coordinators design plays to put their 6'6" tight end on a safety. The ball is a little behind Gesicki right there. Allows Crawford to come in and force yet again another critical 3rd and 7.
Indiana brings a 5-man blitz. McSorley swapped under. IU gets the sack on what might be the final play of the 1st quarter. And once again, they have a chance to get terrific field position as Penn State will be forced to punt.
Well, Allison asked the question, when will you know? And he's taped up that ankle. You can see it, but you don't see the burst or explosion here. Nicely timed blitz. You see the containment there of Indiana on the outside. Jacob Robinson, 91, a wonderful job. But not nearly the speed or explosion we've seen over the last few weeks from McSorley.
So that takes us to the end of the 1st quarter. Penn State with a 7-0 lead. This presentation of college football will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Let's see how the true freshman handles the snap here to start the 2nd quarter. Perfectly, and gets away a wobbly kick. Mitchell Page, fair catch at the Indiana 40-yard line. Lego swings one to Divine Redding. Picks up what he can. Onto the 27-yard line. That's a gain of a couple.
And that's why you accept that penalty. I mean, you get a 15-yarder. That is significant real estate with an Indiana team that has controlled field position. Not been able to pay it out via points, but I like Franklin's decision to move him back.
Lego well protected. Long throw to the sideline. On his knees is Donovan Hale. Oruwariye lost where Donovan Hale was settling up against the sideline, and a big gainer and a 1st down.
And Franklin saying, oh my goodness, that was a 98-mile-an-hour frozen rope 40 yards down the field. I can promise you not many can make that throw in college football.
Redding inside the 40, carries a tackler to the Penn State 38-yard line. Gain of 7.5 on 1st down after Indiana turns 1st and 25 into another possession that crosses the 50-yard line. Lego finds a hold of Timian inside the 15. So Indiana is in the red zone.
And that look says it all. This kid can sling it. You knew it on tape. I mean, he's got 15 touchdowns. He does have 13 picks, and you better take advantage. You have opportunities.
Divine Redding. A little cutback lane to the 10. Inside the 5. That might be a first down. Let's see where they mark him down. Troy Apke saved a touchdown for Penn State. It is a first down. First and goal for Indiana.
Wilbur Warrior had the big tackle earlier, and you can see Imani and Troy there. Apke, the safety, not giving up. And it's a good thing because this is an area of the field that Indiana likewise has found some struggles scoring touchdowns. A bit of a surprise with as good as they have been running the football this season.
Redding gets a chance. Shut down inside the 4-yard line by Curtis Cothran, who was suspended for the first 4 games this year, but was one of the players that the defensive coaches for Penn State singled out as making a big impact once they got him back on the field.
285 and athletic. I mean, usually those defensive tackles are either 300 plus and just space eaters, but 285 athletic certainly helps.
Redding to the 5-yard line. That's a loss of a yard. So a team that has struggled in the red zone now faces 3rd and goal at the 5. Garrett Sickles and Manny Bowen sandwiched Divine Redding.
Little surprise we haven't seen the move with the big fella. Tyler Natey, the 280-pound Wildcat quarterback, as well as Xander Diamont. Little Wildcat package they've had the last few weeks in these red zone opportunities. Not so on this first possession down here.
They go, rolls right, throws right, wide open, walking into the end zone with a touchdown is Ricky Jones. Indiana a point after away from tying it up.
You love that concept. You're expecting man-to-man. You can't draw it up any better. James Franklin knows it, says, I got that play in my book as well. They motion into that bunch. You see it all the time. Little rub route, what you call offensively. Savvy move there from Mitchell Page, the slot receiver, to make sure that he avoids the contact, allows his buddy to come clean underneath in the flat.
And Brock, the moral of the story, if you're Penn State, you can't keep giving a pretty good offense the ball starting at their own 40-yard line and expect your defense to shut down great field position over and over and over again. 3 straight possessions starting at the 40, and finally it's pay dirt here.
Yeah, number 21, the other moral, you get him going, you get him hot, he can be productive.
Drops it at the goal line, picks it up at the 5, and gets dropped at the 11. Trace McSorley and Saquon Barkley make up the Penn State backfield. Barkley now from inside the 10-yard line. It will be 2nd down and long because Ralph Green just dragged down Saquon Barkley for a loss of 2.
Yeah, and that's been the story today. I mean, Saquon cannot get started. You're in the lead running back, but you need creases and you need lanes. And that time, Ralph Green just tossed aside Steven Gonzalez. All sorts of moving parts on this Penn State offensive line without Paris Palmer, without Brendan Mann, without Andrew Nelson. Young guys in new spots, and right now they are not playing anywhere near the speed and velocity of this Indiana front 4.
McSorley puts one up for Godwin, adjusts, and it's knocked away. Ashawn Riggins, the true freshman, with the pass defensed, and now it's 3rd down and 13. Let's head down to Allison.
To your guys' point, Matt Limegrover, the offensive line coach for Penn State, trying to keep positive with these young guys. He told Bates, who's had to slide over to tackle, you're doing great. Just make sure you're staying square. And the message to the entire line, keep moving your feet, be aggressive, but keep and trust your technique and trust your eyes.
Well, right now, unfortunately, Allison, that's wonderful teaching and coaching from Limegrover. But that Indiana front and those 4 guys right now know they're whipping the 5 in front of them. And they've got an injured quarterback with spatted up ankles behind.
McSorley from the goal line, buying time, incomplete. Deshaun Hamilton couldn't one-hand it. So it's 3 downs and out, and backing up Penn State. They'll be punting from just inside the end zone.
Yeah, this offense has operated over the last 4 or 5 weeks at a totally different level because they've been able to dictate. been able to dictate with their run game and play to the strength of James Franklin. He told Allison pregame, hey, we're still young, and while we have matured, man, we got a lot of growing still to do. And as banged up as that crew is on that offensive line, going to make life a whole lot more difficult to dictate this afternoon.
So now Blake Gillikin from the end zone gets it away. And that's a really nice kick. Page from his own 43, forced into a fair catch. Terrific punt by the true freshman, 49 yards. Midway through the second quarter. Devon Redding flips one to Mitchell Page. The reverse. And Mitchell Page lost the football. And it looks as if Malik Golden may have jumped on top of it for Penn State. Sharif Miller got a hand in and helped knock it away. Another Indiana turnover. Another momentum swing. And look who's got the ball back at midfield again. Penn State, after their defense gets a takeaway.
And you could see it in the body language right there of Mitchell Page, and the veteran coach is going to talk to him. He loves Mitchell, but Mitchell's trying to do simply too much here. Wonderful move. You make the first man miss, but that is now 2 fumbles in traffic and gets an opportunistic defense.
Play action for McSorley. Takes a shot down the sideline. Incomplete, looking for Chris Godwin. Well, mistakes for Indiana were plentiful last week as well. They found a way to beat Rutgers, and they filled up the box score with nothing but mistakes.
And you know what? In the past, this would be catastrophic for Kevin Wilson's Hoosiers. But he's got a defense now, and Tom Allen on the other side, that much like they did against Rutgers a week ago, responded.
They're in a 7-7 tie now, in spite of the fact that they've given it away 3 times. 5 straight offensive possessions for Indiana that started between their own 38 and the 50-yard line, and only 1 touchdown to show for it. And here's Barkley. He gets shut down, a loss of a yard. Again, it's Ralph Green. But look at what Indiana overcame last week on the road to beat Rutgers. They missed 3 field goals. 2 of them were blocked. Had a missed point after as well. 4 giveaways. 1 of those was a scoop and score, and they still found a way to win the game.
Yeah, and you did it because your defense held the Scarlet Knights to 1 of 16 on 3rd down. Found a way to get off the field, prevent the big plays, and you finally hear this crowd a little bit come to life and respond to a defense that's, well, it's overcome its offense this afternoon.
And they have made Penn State one-handed offensively. Nittany Lions just can't run the football. 3rd and 11. McSorley steps up, tucks it under. Tries to extend the play with a little pump fake, and he's got the first down and more. No, they'll say he stepped out. For a moment, it looked like he tiptoed along the sideline and kept the play alive, but he was able to scramble for the first down, and a pump fake where Brock, I don't think he ever intended to throw the football, helped get him an extra 5 yards.
No, and you're going to see it. It's exactly what it was, and those defensive guys, they can't help themselves. Right, even if you're 5 yards down the field, those guys are so trained to the ball, man, they just can't help themselves. There's nobody to throw to.
Play action with a pump fake. McSorley looking downfield. Long throw to the sideline. Incomplete. Saeed Blacknall, the intended receiver. Good play by the safety, Jonathan Crawford. Now it's 2nd down and 9.
And there's a little picture of the difference in velocity. Lego makes that throw all the way across the field, and there's not much air on the ball. Trace got to get that up just a little bit earlier. He's trying to see everything develop, but on a long throw like that, the more you can anticipate, the more accurate it will be.
Now it's Miles Sanders in the backfield as Penn State is rolling their tailbacks. Sanders runs right into a blitz. Zeke Walker. He beelined right to the true freshman and made the stop, and now it's 3rd down and about 11 after a loss.
Yeah, there were some tendencies here that Tom Allen wouldn't give me the whole book, but he felt like there would be some opportunities for his 2nd-level players. His linebackers, his nickel linebacker there, Zeke Walker, to get a pretty good feel with the run-pass action. And, man, are they ever aggressive. But getting off the field here on 3rd and 11, 3rd and 15, 3rd and 20, that's where McSorley's been at his best.
5-man rush. McSorley, long throw to the sideline. Gesicki's going to have to break a tackle and can't do it. Stopped again by Jonathan Crawford. So Penn State will be forced to punt after they get the takeaway at midfield.
This conference has got some elite defenses. Michigan, the best. We saw Wisconsin last week. Ohio State can play defense. But this Indiana crew has been the story. Their difference with first-year D coordinator Tom Allen, that is to me the single biggest story, and the head coach didn't disagree yesterday. And you're seeing that today. That's 3 giveaways, 2 by this guy, Mitchell Page, and the defense has responded at every turn.
Billiken with a wobbly kick. Page will let it bounce. And it might be loose. Did that hit an Indiana player before a Penn State player touched it? It did! Penn State is going to have 1st and goal at the 6. What is Isaac James thinking? As Mitchell Page ran away from the football. And Isaac James just lost where the ball was and where he was on the field.
Well, this is 2 parts. It's the kick returner that has got to be yelling and screaming for his buddies. Clearly, the right foot there, that's a great look right here. It's going to make contact with the right foot. But what Isaac has got to do is get out of the way. He should be looking and listening to Mitchell Page, who should be screaming at the top of his lungs, and that's what that is, to get out of the way, whatever that call is, and each team has it differently, to try to clear those guys out of the way. What a tough first half. Now 4 giveaways from the Hoosiers. And you give a top 10 team that many opportunities, they typically make you pay.
1st and goal. Saquon Barkley back in to the left of McSorley.
And I got to get to the bottom of the screen. I got to get to Chris Godwin down here. This is a true freshman on my best receiver.
In the back of the end zone, an easy pitch and catch. Guess who? Chris Godwin at Penn State gets the go-ahead touchdown as they take advantage of yet another takeaway, this one on special teams.
Yeah, it's one thing to do it against Rutgers. You know, one of the teams and programs that's struggling so badly in Chris Asher's first year there. It's quite another to do it against a team that's won 5 in a row. It's got a bunch of weapons, and Godwin's an excellent player, and you could see the conversation. That's Kevin Johns, QB coach, wide receiver coach, offensive coordinator, and he has just got to be telling his guys, will you please settle down and just give us an opportunity to execute before you keep giving the game away.
Point after tacked on by Tyler Davis. Penn State back on top by a touchdown. A gift 7, courtesy of IU.
I think this is going to go down to the wire today. I really do. There's got to be part of Kevin Wilson in Indiana that's looking at this score saying we have given the ball away 4 times, 4 different occasions. And to be down just 1 possession against the number 10 team in the country, time to respond if you're Richard Lego in Indiana.
Divine Redding, and this time stacked up by the Penn State defensive front. Loss of a couple. Evan Schwann and Marcus Allen got the stop, but that was a change of the line of scrimmage by the Penn State defensive front.
Yeah, these slower developing plays have not been very good for either side. The execution has been a whole lot better, being able to hit the creases with Redding, going north and south, and on the other side, Barkley's had a hard time in any of their zone read concepts to get started.
Blitz coming. Lego, man-to-man, bullets one, and it's caught by Nick Westbrook. Now they say incomplete. He couldn't hold on. That's another chance for Westbrook to make a play. And it will be 3rd down and 13.
And this is just a little comeback thrown to the right spot, away from the defender. Got to finish.
3rd down and 23 from inside the 15-yard line. Divine Redding just getting what he can. And that's a pretty good play on 3rd down and long. At least it buys you some real estate before you punt it away, a gain of 17.
It's pretty remarkable as we do this, isn't it, Bob? As we go through the course of the season, and you just look at those turnovers and those teams that typically win that turnover battle. The penalty game, right? You've seen a hold and a chop block. Special teams struggles in errors. Just those little things that certainly play enormous roles down the stretch of a season.
Returnable for John Reed. He's got room to run with a flag down. Reed inside the 40-yard line if it stands.
During the kick, holding. Receiving team number 12. 10 yards from the end of the kick. 1st down, Penn State.
possession. McSorley gets to the sideline, tucks it under and runs. And steps out with a first down.
And these were the dead plays last year. You know, Christian Hackenberg's in the NFL, second-round pick, and and hopefully he can grow and get his opportunities there with the Jets or somewhere else, Bob. But those were plays that were dead a season ago. Much like the touchdown run, much like the 3rd and 15 scramble and pump fake. Those are the plays that number 9 is making this season.
Barkley, well, he has gone nowhere. That's a loss of a couple. Why can't it be with the Jets? I mean, why does it have to be about maybe it's going to happen somewhere else?
Well, he's got so many people ahead of him on the roster. He got so many stars and franchise quarterbacks and difference makers.
See, it's that kind of venom. I don't know where that comes from. Spoiled with your Seattle success, you bring that very elitist attitude to any analysis of my poor Jets. Second down and 12, 31-yard line for Penn State. McSorley steps up. Jump ball for DeAndre Tompkins. And it is wrestled away by Rashard Fant. Indiana gets a takeaway. And Fant on the return. Hit out of bounds inside the Penn State 35-yard line.
And that's trace that shows I was a high school safety as well. And I don't mind laying a little lumber. And that's something you've not seen from McSorley. Just the 4th interception on that side. And that's a no-no. And I know the thought process is I've got my guy in a one-on-one out here, but I got the country's best. When it comes to knocking that ball away, that's just the 2nd pick on the year for Rashard. But there's nobody better the last 2 years in college football of going up, high pointing, either breaking it up or in this case, making the interception. The folks looking at the replay, that could have been another 15 added on the end of that play with the tackle by McSorley.
Another opportunity with great field position for the Indiana offense. And off to Redding. Uses the stiff arm inside the 30-yard line. And again, going back to what we saw so much on tape from the last several weeks, and something that has been very effective, but we haven't seen it today, that Xander Diamant, Tyler Natee, Wildcat quarterback zone read. Here's Lego under pressure and sacked again.
And guess who?
Garrett Sickles in the middle of that defensive line for Penn State with Evan Schwan. Those two defensive ends collapse the pocket again.
And Garrett said, hey, Coy, a true freshman over there. You've had a nice season. You've started now 10 consecutive games, but let me give you a little lesson of what 4 years in the weight room is all about. He gets underneath the true freshman Kronk left tackle and drives him right into the quarterback.
Lego, long throw to the sideline, and this time it's scooped up. Donovan Hale. How about that? 3rd down and 15 becomes a first down in the red zone.
I can't express how good a throw that is. All the way across the field, and these corners are sitting there watching, I think, in some disbelief.
Redding up the middle. A gain of 6.5, close to 7. Malik Golden got him in the open field.
I mean, as a corner, you're used to the trajectory of a pass or when it's going to come your way, and that is a monster throw from Lego.
Redding again to the 10-yard line, to the 5, into the end zone for an IU touchdown.
And I'll tell you what, Coy Kronk may have gotten beat on that first down pass rush or second down from Garrett Sickles, but the freshman does what Indiana's done today, and that is respond here and watch the true freshman here have the awareness and the eyes up to make that block right there on Kabinda. And typically those young linemen will have their head down, they'll go double team, especially when, well, they're getting beaten for sacks, and instead he's got his eyes up and gives Redding the opportunity to go downhill and finish.
So finally, with great field position again, Indiana converts, and we are tied. Saquon Barkley with 15 carries for 21 yards in the first half. And of course, that a running back that was averaging close to 170 per game over the last 4 as we go down to Allison.
Coach Wilson, some self-inflicted wounds with the 4 turnovers. How have you managed to make this a tie game at the half?
Defense doing a really good job. We were fortunate to make a few plays. We just got to take out the negative. And we were 2 weeks ago third in the country and fewest fumbles, and now back-to-back weeks. So it's good players. We're going to work hard to fix it. We're playing hard. It's a great game.
You mentioned your defense. That front seven specifically, what have they done well to really limit their run game and get after the quarterback?
Well, in particular, D-line, there's not really maybe a special guy as a group. They're playing hard. The coverage just gives a chance because they're holding up. So it's really just a great team effort and love what they're doing.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
14-14, our score at halftime here in Bloomington. After the break, it's the halftime report. A road test, every bit that for number 10 Penn State as they are taking on Indiana. Bob Wischusen, Brock Ewert, Allison Williams here in Bloomington. Mistakes for both teams. Really the story in the first half. Penn State, boy, they had opportunity after opportunity off of miscues for Indiana, and yet can't take the lead through the break.
Not many times are you -3 at home as Indiana is yet tied. And I think it's a real compliment to their defense. This defense has been much improved. One of the most improved in the country, in fact, and they showcased it yet again. Backs against the wall, they've responded. How about Saquon Barkley? -25 yards of negative yards in that first half. He's a little bit over that, obviously. He's got some positive plays, but very few. He's had a hard time ever getting started.
Indiana starts the third quarter with the ball. And it is a returnable kick. Devontae Williams brought down at the 18-yard line. Devine Redding on first down. Drives his way out to about the 23-yard line. That was a heck of a hit that he took. Still able to pick up 5 yards. Marcus Allen came up. He was the first to arrive for Penn State.
And he will whack you.
Alex Rodriguez picks up what Devine Redding lost. Evan Schwan brings him down, but it will be 3rd and 10.
And let's see the tempo here. This has been another adjustment on 3rd down, taking a little more time here, but they found some 3rd down success. Yep, and now they're going to come to the line expecting zone.
And Lego with the quick snap. Lobs one, and it's hauled in by Westbrook with a flag down.
That's going to be a hold. That's going to stay in. That's going to be hold on the perimeter there.
15, Nick Westbrook.
On Grant Haley, the undersized corner. We've seen this matchup, as has James Franklin, 2, 3, 4 different occasions today. Haley's held his own on Westbrook, but not that time.
Holding. Defense number 15. Penalties decline. Result of play, first down.
And when you're a bigger receiver going against an undersized guy and you may have a little disadvantage speed-wise, you got to win right at the start, and that's exactly what he does. The two 15s matched up. You could see Grant Haley reaching from behind, but once he's behind, Westbrook's able to stack him on his back, go up, make the big play down the field.
A couple of times in the first half, Westbrook had an opportunity, one for a touchdown to make a big play, and couldn't make the catch that he just made. Off right guard for Rodriguez for 3.
Second half is a game of adjustments, and I think both these staffs do a nice job. And Penn State's got to make an adjustment defensively. They are 6 for 10 now, allowing 3rd downs, many of them the long variety, because Indiana's playing fast and knowing what they're getting coverage-wise.
It's still the redshirt sophomore as the back, a former walk-on who got tripped up. 4 yards shy of the first down, so it will be 3rd down and 4 for Indiana, and let's see if Richard Lego gets them set and they go at that pace again.
And that slows down the line stunts, slows down some of the pressure, slows down the substitutions, and here they go again.
Man-to-man coverage on the edge. Instead, it's a toss, and this time Penn State is there to get the backfield stop. Brandon Bell and Marcus Allen bring down Rodriguez, a loss of a yard. Now it'll be a long field goal attempt.
Yeah, and this is a boom or bust play. When you run into the short field, the boundary as it's called, field and boundary in football, and you run a toss, you saw a bubble screen earlier into the boundary, you think you get a numbers advantage. But to me, that just squeezes any opportunity for your playmakers.
Griffin Oaks last season was the Big Ten kicker of the year, first team all Big Ten, and was 24 of 29. It has been a completely different season for this special teams unit. And now it's Mitchell Page in at holder, and that's a change from 47. This one's got the leg, and it's good. It was a nightmare last week for the field goal unit for IU in their win against Rutgers. A missed field goal, a couple blocked. They botched an extra point as well. But from 47 yards out, Griffin Oaks here, perfect. And Indiana has the lead back. You think we have drama between Penn State and Indiana? Well, up on the berm to our right, there's a football caught up in the tree, and these guys are doing everything that they possibly can to get it. And I think actually there's not just one football. Yes, there's two. See, the one on the right was stuck. They're playing football up on the hill. The one on the left, that's the give me a ball so I can throw this one up there and try and knock them both down.
Right.
That didn't work. So now we're getting the human pyramid. We've got a dad up there, I think, worried that an emergency room trip is somewhere in our future. Miles Sanders watches the ball sail through the back of the end zone, and maybe the kids can run down the hill and scoop up that one because they're short of football. They're actually short 2 footballs. Oh, here we go.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Now, this is a small ball. See, this could work. I think this is a good strategy. Better than the shoe that they just threw.
You better not tumble
one.
over the fence.
Oh, here, wait. Now, the guy with the high tops down at the bottom, he could hit the poor kid right in the back of the head if he tosses a sneaker. Now we've got 1 ball over the fence, 2 in the tree. I don't know that there's anything on the field that's more compelling as to whether or not they can get those 2 footballs out of the tree. That might be the next stop for Allison Williams. Saquon Barkley, a gain of a yard on first down, as the story for Penn State continues to be trying to get their best player rolling.
Yep.
And Brock, a defensive front that's not allowing it for Indiana.
Oh, and they're not allowing the run game. And the run game has dictated why all that success the last 5 games, because they've been able to be balanced and be a run-first team, and they can't right now.
60. Play action for McSorley with a pump fake, looking for Godwin. Incomplete. Again, they test the true freshman Ashawn Riggins, and again, he is able to get the stop. 3rd down and 14.
And this poor guy, the surrender cobra. I just want to play. Can we just get the ball back and play? And for Penn State, can we find a 3rd down conversion? Can we find our style of play? Because they've had a hard time doing so.
Well, that's the reaction of a second football getting stuck in the pine tree. Indiana with a 4-man front. Now they show a 5-man rush. Here it comes. A stunt up the middle. And that results in a high throw by McSorley and an interception. Tony Fields on the return and a flag down. Thrown well after the pick.
Yeah,
the blitz came right in the face of Trace McSorley on the stunt game up front by the defense for Indiana, and he sailed that throw into a turnover.
He sure did. It's going to be Tyler Green, I believe, for Indiana with a block in the back on the return, but it doesn't take away, once again, from Indiana dictating defensively. Stop that run early. Put Trace and McSorley in a position to pass first.
There is no foul in the play for a block. Block in question was from the side.
So now they pick up the flag, so it will be a takeaway for Indiana and a 1st down inside the 30.
You see the perfectly timed stunt and blitz right up the middle, forces McSorley to get rid of it early. It sails. There was the questionable block by Tyler Green, number 3, coming into the screen.
How hard is that as a quarterback to deliver the ball with the proper trajectory when you know you are about to take one right in the chest?
It's all about anticipation, Bob, at that point. But the one thing you can't do ever, ever, ever is high late down the middle.
That's what he did. Now Lego, swing pass in the flat. Ricky Brookins inside the 25, knocked out of bounds at the 20. A yard shy of the 1st down, so 9 yards on 1st down.
And that's 2 now for McSorley. 3 for the entire season coming into this afternoon. Because the offense hasn't been on his shoulders like it is for Lego in a pass-first system.
Brookins with a cutback. He's got the 1st down. Jason Kabinda, who was injured in the opening game and missed 5 games in the heart of this Penn State defense, returned against Ohio State. He and Brandon Bell both came back for the Ohio State game, and boy, were they huge in that win. Now they need them as part of a red zone stop here. Lego, long throw, and that's completed inside the 10-yard line to Luke Timian. 1st and goal at the 7.
Number 82.
You see a gunslinger feeling incredibly confident, don't you? I mean, look at just the difference between the 2 quarterbacks. A little bit of air, a little bit of time to throw in the pocket.
And not wasting any time. Diamont lines up in the pistol on 1st and goal. And off to Nate. The bowling ball lowers his shoulders down inside the 6, close to the 5.
Diamont doesn't weigh 170 pounds, and he knows. You said to me earlier about McSorley knowing you're going to get hit. A little different when you're throwing a go route versus over the middle. Just put some air on it and trust your guys to bring it down.
Now it's 2nd down and goal at the 6 with Lego back in at quarterback and Devine Redding in the backfield as well. Redding up the middle into the end zone for an Indiana touchdown. It's now a 2-score lead for the Hoosiers with a little over 3 minutes left in the 3rd.
James Franklin's been here before, and they were down bigger to Ohio State. And he's going to remind his team that has shown this season they've got some guts and resolve. But right now, this defense has been unable to stop the run consistently on early downs. That is the biggest story of the game. Xander Diamont loves it. He has the shot deep down the field to put them into the red zone.
Miles Sanders from inside the 5. Good field position for Penn State at their own 30, now down 10 as we take. Saquon Barkley turned back again. Nowhere to go. T. Gray Scales, Ashawn Riggins combined for the 9th carry of the day for Saquon Barkley. That's gone for negative yards.
And once again, look at T. Gray Scales. Look at him before the snap. Do you see his body? You talk about great sprinters with a body lean, or great runners on the other side with that forward lean. I mean, these guys right here at this level, those linebackers are so keyed in. They're trusting the 4 guys in front of them to maul and manhandle the O-line, and they are teeing off. Man-to-man pressure look.
Play clock winding down. Here comes the blitz. Long throw. And it's hauled in by Saeed Blacknall. He wrestles for it and has it at the Indiana 31-yard line. Trace McSorley took a shot and found Blacknall.
Yeah, and he's trying to collect himself right now and I think get his win back. It's a pressure look. He checks to it. He knows he's got a one-on-one, and Saquon didn't help him. Saquon goes to his knees. That is his blitzing linebacker. And they pick on Fan. He had the interception earlier, and how about that? How about that trust in my teammate if I'm Trace McSorley? Different guy. It was Tompkins earlier. Same thought. I got a one-on-one, and I'm going to give you an opportunity to make me look good.
Now it's Andre Robinson at tailback. A gain of 43 for Penn State. McSorley looking end zone for Godwin. He's got it! That's a Penn State touchdown. What a catch by Chris Godwin.
Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. We're a run-first team. We've got to be a run-first team. Nope, not today. Not with 3 tackles out. Not with all the moving pieces. Can't run it. Love that shot, Joe Moorhead. Hey, Trace, I know you've thrown 2 picks, but this is what it's going to take. It's going to take perimeter passing game today. You're going to have to just trust and put it out there and rely on your guys to go up and get it. Perfectly thrown pass. Picking on the true freshman, Riggins at corner. And Godwin the difference maker that time.
And McSorley, without the run game, Brock, just keeps on coming at you and finding a way to at least keep it a game and stick the ball in the end zone.
Been very easy at 24-14. My ankle hurts, my ribs hurt. It's not going our way. I'm not getting really any help to balance out the offense. But instead, it was Blacknall on the deep go route. That's as simple as it gets, like those kids playing up in the trees. You run out there by the tree, and I'm going to throw it to you and make sure you catch it. Don't tip it into the branches so we lose and have to spend a half hour kind of on our game, and we've spent 3 quarters here being choppy offensively. Might not being anything reflective of what we've been this season, but James Franklin knows it. He believes in that guy, and more importantly, the people in the huddle do.
And now a kick out of bounds by Joey Julius. So that will give Indiana good field position at their own 35.
A big series here for both offense and confidence, and defense here for Penn State to respond.
Divine Redding, a little jump cut to create 2 yards as he dodged a tackler at the line, brought down by Ryan Buchholz. We are now in the final minute of the 3rd quarter. Penn State ranked number 10 in the college football playoff rankings. Their highest ranking obviously ever in the CFP rankings, and their highest ranking since 2011. And trying to prove that that ranking is no fluke. But they have been tested all day today by Indiana. And it looks like the Hoosiers will take a lead into the 4th quarter. Redding again. And it will be 3rd down to start the 4th quarter.
And those were 2 back-to-back snaps. This is a check with me system, and you could see Lego doing it. And he's looking at 2 safeties. And those were 2 snaps that I guarantee you James Franklin and his defensive staff went over to that D-line and said, you have got to be difference makers. Are you watching the Hoosiers on the other side in their D-line? They have taken the game and made it very difficult on us. You have got to do the same. 2 very good snaps from a front 7 that was getting run on too much in the early downs.
Penn State at 7-2. Their best record since starting 8-1 back in 2011. Looking for their 6th consecutive Big Ten win. But they'll have to do it in come-from-behind fashion in the 4th quarter as Divine Redding and the Hoosiers take a 3-point lead to the final 15 minutes. Start of the 4th quarter here in Bloomington. Can Indiana hold on and get an upset win over number 10 Penn State, or can the Nittany Lions pull off the come-from-behind win? Big play here to start the 4th, 3rd down and 7. Richard Lego looking at a blitz, throws a screen behind it, and it is sniffed out. Ricky Brookins had nowhere to go. Jason Kabinda was there first for Penn State.
Well, we've been complimenting the Indiana linebackers, deservedly so. Marcus Oliver, T. Gray Scales, their 2 leading tacklers. But it was Brandon Smith, the replacement for Kabinda, down in the red zone on a 4th down that made a tremendous play of awareness, and that time Kabinda could see everything happen in front of him. Once those linemen pulled out, he pulled the trigger, stopped that play dead in his tracks.
And Jordan Smith, backup corner, was shaken up on the play, so that's why the officials stopped the clock for the moment. So a line drive punt after the injury timeout, fielded by Garrity. And he is thrown down inside the 25-yard line.
Garrity on the return, number 17.
Saquon Barkley finds a lane, keeps his balance, at least for the moment, long enough to stumble for a 1st down and a gain of 12.
And an excellent crack that time by his buddy outside, his wide receiver coming in, taking out the safety, putting that freshman corner, he's getting picked on, to the short side of the field here, either in the passing game, that time in the running game. Well executed by Penn State to finally a little breathing room for Barkley and a crease to see some of his explosive capabilities.
There he goes again. Grinds out about 5 yards on 1st down. Again, Saquon Barkley came into today in his last 4 games, averaging 8.3 yards per carry, 169 yards per game over the last 4, including 167 last week in the win over Iowa. And look at what Indiana has held him to today.
9 of those 22 going the other way. Many of those the slower developing zone read variety.
It's another opportunity. It's a flea flicker. McSorley looking for Deshaun Hamilton. He's got it. The trick play works to perfection. And it's 1st and goal at the 3.
Pass reception good to Deshaun Hamilton.
That finally they get the matchup that Joe Moorhead said they would find a way to capitalize. And that's Marcelino Ball, the true freshman left out there on an island. Loses his eyes, loses his sight, and loses his coverage.
First and goal, Nittany Lions at the 3. Barkley stood up. He lost a yard. It'll be second and goal at the 4, and again T-Gray Scales in the middle of that charge for the Indiana defense.
You're going to watch this. This is one of the little tendencies that Indiana had. The proximity of running back and quarterback, and really felt like, and you could see the linebackers reacting, that when Saquon was that close to the quarterback, it was going to be inside run versus with some width. He typically tries to hit it on the outside in the perimeter run game.
Barkley again walks into the end zone with a Penn State touchdown.
Saquon Barkley, the ball carrier, touchdown, Penn State.
Not contain. It is so difficult against a back like Barkley. You think you've got him, and you've got him, and you got him again. And this time, the containment on the edge. You're going to see it right here. The linebacker in the defensive end. You can see now come in, and he just loses that outside arm. And on every single defensive snap, you have got containment. And that time, Niall Sykes' defensive end just loses for a moment. And Saquon shows that lateral burst and explosion that separates him and makes him a difference maker. And how about the patience and the resolve of these guys? Keep on swinging. Doesn't matter how bad it looks, Penn State seems to respond.
On the shoes of Brock Ewart, Allison Williams here in Bloomington. Saquon Barkley walked into the end zone with an easy touchdown. His 12th rushing touchdown of the season, second best in the Big Ten, but it was set up by a 17-year-old linebacker that got fooled by a trick play. Devontae Williams will take a knee with tempo and play action on third down. Right at the first down marker. It's scooped up by Mitchell Page.
And he does. And he does once again on third down, and once again with some tempo. And I love that adjustment. Do not let them look at Penn State trying to sub right now.
Divine Redding for a yard. Curtis Cothran, Sharif Miller, Jason Kabinda, all there for the Nittany Lions.
Indiana's not been a great third down team this season. In fact, just 38%, and 7+ have been well below that. But today have found a ton of success in those situations. Now 7 and 14 on the day.
Lego, comeback route to the sideline. It's hauled in by Camion Patrick. That is another Indiana first down to the Penn State 41.
NFL arm, huh?
Not always NFL accuracy, not always NFL decision-making, but when he leans into a throw, I mean, do you not see next-level quarterback?
Yeah, I was watching him warm up, and it just comes out so easy, and that's some of the advantage, you know, and some of the leverage opportunities you have at 6'6".
Redding tries to turn the corner. Check that, Alex Rodriguez. And his speed only gets him a yard to the 40-yard line as Malik Golden stayed home.
But these are the moments. You're 1-18 all time against Penn State. Indiana is looking across on the sidelines, and no, it's not been many of these players.
Lego, he's looking for the end zone. He's got a man, and it's there for the touchdown. Nick Westbrook got behind the Nittany Lions secondary, and just like that, the Hoosiers retake the lead.
I don't know how many of these throws that you've got to see from a secondary standpoint before you start to change your timing. I can't even speak, because your landmarks and your timing are different when you've got a guy with this kind of caliber arm. Right, we've seen it on comebacks. You know, we've seen it on hole shots, and that is equally a deep hole shot, 45 yards down the field, and the safety Golden's thinking, I'm over the top of this. I can take this angle against 9 out of 10 quarterbacks, but not against a kid with this kind of velocity he can create.
A field goal lead for Indiana with 11:06 to go in the fourth quarter. What a game in Bloomington. Veterans Day weekend. It is our honor to salute all of our nation's veterans, past and present. And these are some of the courageous soldiers around the globe, proudly showing off their school pride. All of us want to thank you for your service and helping to allow us to enjoy college football Saturdays like this one. 31-28. Indiana answers right back with 4 minutes gone by here in the fourth quarter. Bob Wischusen, Brock Ewart, Allison Williams, As Westbrook calls in his 5th touchdown catch. And now how does Trace McSorley and Penn State respond?
And that's really the word here in the second half, isn't it? Two teams that can respond, that know how to respond, and the Penn State crew that really has done it all season in their 5-game winning streak.
Line drive kick is going to give up some field position. Gesicki finds some room in the flat, catch and run for a first down. Gain of 13 to the 44.
You call that a sneak route, and they hit it earlier. This is once again how you take advantage of the aggressiveness of those linebackers. You sneak, and sometimes difficult. And you can't really imagine how you sneak 6'6", 250, but you can because those eyes are in the backfield, and Gesicki has ran that play effectively now 3 times.
It's McSorley over 300 yards passing. Zone read. Saquon Barkley. A yard. Again, Tigray Scales at the bottom of the pile. Getting some help from Oliver and Robinson for Indiana. 2nd down and 9. Under 10 on the play clock, and McSorley's still looking over at the sideline. 5 to get the play off. McSorley back to throw. Heaves one to the sideline. Godwin couldn't be more wide open. And if he stayed in bounds, he could have picked up 10 or 12 more.
And once again, that's a true freshman. And Indiana is trying at times to mix it up and give the safety help over the top and not put all the burden on the true freshman right now, Riggins. But that time, a pressure look, a one-on-one, and Godwin making the freshman pay.
And now a timeout may have been called by Indiana defensively. They were trying to run a player off the field. Godwin, you could see he kind of took a peek to his left as he went out of bounds.
Indiana, they're first.
And realized that if somehow he was able to slow his momentum down before he went out of bounds, Riggins was 10 or 12 yards away. Saquon Barkley. Just been no room. He does well to dive forward and pick up 2 yards. Tigray Scales and Rashard Fant were both out there to bump him out of bounds at the 15-yard line.
Well, and then here's your adjustment. And this is Rashard Fant who's going to come in and tackle on the perimeter and outside. See the big boys staying square up front. You run into that short side of the field. Now, Fant is typically the corner to the field. But that boundary corner has been so picked on, you actually see him now switching over and covering Godwin. The game of adjustments when it matters the most.
Barkley this time up the middle. Inside the 10. Carrying tacklers inside the 5. The pile moves down inside the 3. 1st and goal for Penn State. Looking for the go-ahead score with 4.5 minutes remaining.
You're going to see Fant come in here, and the difference between a field corner and a boundary corner is he comes in and just dives at the legs. And that is no bueno against a man as powerful as Barkley.
That's his best run of the day, 13 yards. Play clock inside of 10. McSorley rolls out, throws it away. They tried to fake their best, and Barkley on the dive didn't fool that Indiana defense. Tigray Scales stayed true to his rush on Trace McSorley and gave him no daylight.
And so did Chase Dutra, the safety there. That was the same sneak play action pass for the 4th time, trying to bring the tight end under, and that time Indiana stayed home.
2nd down and goal. Clock under 10 again. This time, McSorley has his team ready. It is Barkley. He bull rushes his way into the end zone for a go-ahead Penn State touchdown.
Talking to Pete Carroll over the last couple weeks, because Seahawks have played some pretty elite rush defense and goal line defense in particular. And how do you do it? He said it takes a commitment from everybody. And that time, Jonathan Crawford's a safety. He's the unblocked guy. He is one-on-one in that alley with Saquon Barkley, who finally gets ahead of steam. And the big man shows what he's capable of doing late in a game. Been stuffed, been stymied, been stopped, but when it matters the most, you don't go away from the strength of your team.
And a vital extra point for Tyler Davis, because that makes the lead 4 with under 4 minutes to go. So now Indiana has to have a touchdown to take the lead after Barkley scores for the second time. And for those of you who are just joining us, welcome to Bloomington. Bob Wischusen, Brock Ewart, Allison Williams. We have had a back and forth affair, and Saquon Barkley has had 2 second-half touchdowns. As things stand right now, it's again on the shoulders of Richard Lago, Devine Redding, and the Indiana offense to come from behind again, as Penn State has taken a 35-31 lead over the Hoosiers here in Indiana. Joey Julius with a returnable kick. Devontae Williams just across the goal line. And Williams barely gets to the 15-yard line before he is stood up. But the long field with just under 4 minutes to go and only 1 timeout. Started on the ground with Redding. Tripped up, a gain of 4.
When they've had challenges, it's been holding calls. They've had 3 drives killed by holding calls and going backwards. When they've stayed on schedule, been able to establish that tempo and let Lago have some time and air in that pocket. He's delivered.
Lago, back shoulder to the sideline. Incomplete. Off the fingertips of Nick Westbrook. Christian Campbell was there in coverage for Penn State. Now it's 3rd down at 6.
This is well timed by Christian Campbell. Look at his eyes coming back, and that hand right in the eyes distract Westbrook just enough to force the incompletion. That's a lonely place with 4 minutes to go in a game, sitting on an island in a one-on-one situation and knowing that Indiana has taken 7, 8, 9, 10 of those shots down the field. And it's going to go down, if they go down, swing with shots.
They'll try and run for it with Redding, and he comes up short by about 3 yards. So now what for Indiana? They only have 1 timeout left, and there's 3:18 to go. Can they afford to kick it away and think they'll get another chance?
Nope. Nope. When you burn 2 of those timeouts already and you make that call on 3rd down, you'd love to hit it, but you also did it knowing you're in 4-down decision-making time.
So 4th down and 3. Indiana trying to keep the game alive. Four-man rush. Lago knocked down at the line, incomplete. Kevin Givens gets the stop for Penn State with the batted ball on 4th down. Only 1 timeout left for Indiana with 2:49 to go, so Penn State can bleed a lot of clock down here.
And you see the hug there from the D-line coach, and a line stunt that doesn't get home. Right, 2 guys that don't create any real movement or space, but the wherewithal, the football IQ there of Kevin Givens to go up and to time that jump perfectly. He's created 2 holding calls, not going to show up on a stat sheet very much, other than that pass breakup. It couldn't come at a more critical time.
Well, you would think Indiana would sell out to try and stop the run here, as Saquon Barkley is to the left of McSorley in the shotgun. Now shifting over to the right. And Barkley dives forward for a yard. The final timeout immediately spent by Kevin Wilson.
How about this hug? And James Franklin saying at halftime, I don't always want to be a second-half team. I'd like to find a little more execution earlier, but I sure believe in my difference makers like Kevin down the stretch. We're
back here in Bloomington. It's Trace McSorley and Penn State now having forced Indiana to use their final timeout. 2nd down and 10 just inside the Indiana 22-yard line. Saquon Barkley brought down after a gain of 1.5 yards by Patrick Daugherty. Believe it or not, this is a career high in attempts in a game for Saquon Barkley. Brock, on a day where he's only averaging 1.9 yards per carry.
Tell me the last time you have seen 32 carries in a college game and 1.9 next to it. I can't remember it. But what that shows is an incredible conviction to who you are and what you are. Even though you know the immense production isn't there, you trust and believe that, well, you're one play away from it happening. And you're also allowing your passing game to flourish today.
3rd down and 8. They run it with Barkley again. Indiana's waiting for him. And now Penn State can take the clock down inside of 1:15 to go as Marcus Oliver makes the stop. And then I would assume a field goal attempt to try and stretch the lead. Well, here's the field goal attempt now for Tyler Davis, 39 yards away. This to stretch the lead to a full touchdown. And he's got it. We'll step aside for 30 seconds and come back. A last gasp opportunity for Indiana. Joey Julius about to kick it off for Penn State as Indiana now down by a full 7 with 1:07 to go. So the Nittany Lions have forced Indiana to use their remaining timeouts. Devontae Williams from the 2. Can he give his offense any kind of field position? Flags everywhere, and he's brought down at the 23-yard line.
As Lego looks to the heavens, and he's going to be launching some of these to the heavens, there is no doubt you're going to see some balls down the field on the perimeters you've seen all afternoon.
And they have no choice. No timeouts. 1:02 to go, down by 7. Penn State brings a rush. Lego, long throw to the sideline. Incomplete. Mitchell Page tried to adjust and couldn't get it on the dive. It'll be 2nd down. Malik Golden tracked Page to the sideline.
And you got to have tremendous discipline here if you're Penn State, and in particular Golden and Allen, the 2 safeties, that time both in that half coverage, trying to keep everything in front of them. They got half the field. They got to make sure they hit their landmarks.
4-man rush again. And that ball comes out sideways as Lego was hit just as he was set to release it. Sickles and Schwann, that end combination again puts the pressure on Lego. Now it's 3rd down and 10. Here comes a blitz. Lego over the middle, broken up. Grant Haley was able to knock it away. Now they're going to say it squeezed through to Ricky Jones. How did he catch the football? Wow. Oh, that was a magic trick pulled by Ricky Jones. So that keeps it alive for Indiana. Lego, long throw to the sideline, sails out of bounds.
I think that football caught him.
I have to have another look at this one because it looked like Haley jumped right in front and knocked it away. Haley did get his hands on the football and almost held it up.
Sure did.
And it was snatched away by Ricky Jones. What a play by the 5th-year senior wide receiver just to keep some slim hope alive.
That was 3rd and 10.
Now it's 2nd and 10 with only 39 seconds to go. Another blitz coming. Lego can't take a sack. The ball pops out. Brandon Bell knocked it away into the end zone. That's a touchdown. Torrance Brown, the scoop and score. And that puts it on ice for Penn State.
This team just finds ways to win, don't they? It was against an Ohio State team weeks ago that they got their signature marquee win. and I've said this to you before, Bob, and I really do believe it, especially with 18 to 22-year-olds, is when you believe, when you have a true belief that you're going to finish and get it done, and the whole team buys in. And that time, the senior Brandon Bell never gives up. Lego tries to extend, but it really extends to the whole team. Offense, defense, special teams, and when you're on the other side of it, and you're Indiana that so desperately wants to get over the hump, wants to believe they can do it. Unfortunately, 5 giveaways today, just critical.
We'll step aside for 30 seconds and come back to Bloomington. Now the kickoff return by Ricky Brookins is out across the 30-yard line to about the 32. So with 23 seconds to go, down by 14 now. It is Academic and Penn State on the road as they continue to build on what has become a season for James Franklin that started with the words hot seat, probably mentioned in conjunction with James Franklin's name over and over again, to now their highest ranking since 2011. A team that's about to win 6 in a row in the Big Ten and get to 9-2. And a top 10 ranking as well. And that should be the final play as Redding brings it out to about the 38-yard line. So Penn State took all that Indiana had to give today. And Richard Lego responded multiple times, but Penn State ends up with a road win, and a big one at that for James Franklin.
And I bet that head coach awfully excited. You lose more people. This is a beat-up football team. Right, they got hammered again with more injuries, an offensive line with all sorts of moving parts, but finding a way to win when it matters the most. That's been the story of these Nittany Lions in 2016.